I am busily catching up on my town videos and really hoping that today goes smooth. You know, one day where I'm a few miles short, that works. If I don't get back to normal mileage today, though, I may get a little hungry by the end of this. So I haven't been doing my usual reporting of mile markers like I do on the far out trails, because it's a little wiggier out here. Reason is, so it's 770 miles, but there are all these alts and relocations, and some of the relocations are not optional. You know, sometimes it's, well, it went through here, but it's not passable. Don't go that way. So I am keeping track of how many miles I walk, but I don't have like a hard, I'm at 490 miles, okay, and it ends at 770. I know there's going to be some extra here and there. Socorro does add a little. However, it saves me because nobody's able to ford the Rio Grande right now, and I don't have like a flotational device to get across. Can't swim with the pack. So even if I did the red line up to Magdalena, I would still have to hike down to get across a bridge. I think it's like a 6-mile reroute to get down to where you can walk across. As near as I can tell, I have another 106 miles to get to Socorro. I was at 114 from Winston, but again, one of those private land, don't go this way, relocate over here, added a couple of miles. I do have enough food to make it, probably. I have plenty of dinners, plenty of coffee, fortunately. But it's just hard to guess, because if I have another day or two like this that slows me down, I may be getting a little sparse by the end. Also, my hunger is kind of all over the place. Generally, after I've done, 500-700 miles, hiker hunger hits in, so I'm just ravenous. But sometimes when it's really hot out and I don't have access to water, I'm not as hungry. So there's always a little bit of like eyeballing, hoping, trying to stretch, and occasionally going hungry for a day or two. The one thing I am sure, Jen did not send me 7 days worth of Jelly Bellies. This is gonna suck. I've never really gotten down to any sort of scientific, I need XYZ calories a day. Reason being, it varies so much out here. I mean, if I go into town and I eat a huge meal, that will hold me for a big part of the day. If I have a huge breakfast, I may not be eating as much during the day. And it does depend on the sort of food. If I have food I like if I had a giant Subway sandwich, oh, that sounds good right now, I would eat a lot more. When I am eating, bars and things that are slightly less appealing, but do help you survive, and, they're dense, I eat a little less. One of my go-tos for breakfast out here is, peanut butter, really dense. And I like it, but I eat it enough where I'm not like, oh, peanut butter, I want to eat half of this. So, food items that are not super appealing do have their benefits. I just have to make sure it's not something that I burned out on completely where I can't even force it down. I've been eating Nature's Bakery bars for the last couple of years, and they were almost evergreen, and I finally hit the point where just no. Northsides, I was eating those a ton on the ECT. I got to the point where I would make it at the end of the day and I was having to force it down, so I had to give those a break for a while. I've been able to eat them off and on. The biggest thing, and the reason why you're seeing me do more boxes, is these bean and rice packs with taco seasoning have been basically evergreen for the moment. I'm really hoping I don't burn out on these, and they're pretty compact. That's a dinner, and we think it's around 500-600 calories. And then I can supplement it with cheese if I'm splurging or I'm near town. So this is 5 more days worth of dinners. Love this stuff. It seems like it's often really windy at night, so I sometimes have to get creative with rocks to get the tent set up. The ground here I can get stakes into, but they don't go very far generally. Later start than I'd prefer, but I got caught up on all my town visit voiceovers. So it looks like in about another 12 miles I am back into the mountains, meaning more natural water sources and less of these cow water sources. If it looks like I am in the mountains and then tromping through cow fields for a while, that is basically the deal on this trail and the CDT, as it turns out. I have been looking ahead. I basically have to trace the map. I did get warned about section 36 when I talked to Mustard and Sprouts. I guess there, the official route has no choice but to go on a 27-ish mile road walk with little water and only one legit place to stay. Or else there is somebody who's come up with a unofficial route that stays off in a more wild area, but maybe gray area as far as access issues. I'm really not sure what I'm gonna do yet. 7-day food carries are always rough, but on the plus side, after the first night, it's noticeably lighter. And I think psychologically it's easier to carry a 6-day food carry after it was 7 versus just leaving town with 6. I don't mind heavier carries too much when it's on trail or road, but when it's cross country like this and the footing's kind of unstable, it's not my favorite. There's something called elk tank down here, which is reportedly dry. It's another one of those earthen ponds. And then in another however many miles, I will end up at a solar well that I was kind of hoping to get to yesterday. Yeah, as expected, nada. So these are basically artificial ponds. You can see they basically built a berm so the rain catches back here. But this is towards the end of the dry season and stuff's drying out. I do appreciate that somebody actually took the effort to put up signs out here. Oh man, I should have camped there. The spot I picked was okay, but a little bit of a challenge to set up. If I'd known that there was ATV access down here, I would have guessed that there were easier places to camp. Oh well, road was nice while it lasted, which was not very long. So I'm headed that way, but the thing about travel in the desert is the terrain's a lot easier and the direction of all the ridges and things. Obviously dropping in and out of that is why this trail is bending as far down here as it is. I have spent many a long day and evening and late into the night on occasion bushwhacking across alluvial fans that just have these endless ditches you climb up and down out of. So I gotta cross, but not for a while. Okay, done with the ridge. I'm going down there. And then up there somewhere. Probably up that thing. So that's the way the track has me climbing out of here. That'll be fun. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Yes, yes. I'll leave you alone, don't worry. Taters would get such a kick out of the baby cows, especially a little tiny one like that one trying to nurse. This is where that solar well is that I was talking about yesterday. So much for making it this far, huh? That would have been a really, really late night. This is actually kind of hidden back here. So it looks like there's water running in here if I can get to it. Problem solved. Turned out that black tube going into the tank is feeding off the solar well. I was able to pull it out and get my water. Once again, I've drank worse, but I'm kind of glad I don't have to drink out of this. Seems to have a lot of rust from that tank. So these guys have been slowly inching closer. They keep realizing I'm human and then wanting to back off. I'm gonna have to get out of their hair pretty quick. So it looks like this should be the end of the crossing between ranges here. This route is gonna take me up and through the San Mateo Mountains. And then I've got the Magdalena Mountains on the other side, which once I cross there, I head into Socorro. So the alternate resupply to Clifton is down this road, about I think 14 miles. Versus I, on the other hand, being resupplied, head up there. So it looks like that's San Mateo Peak, and that's Biscuit Knob, and that big canyon is where I'm headed. Okay, there's a turn not even I can miss. So in addition to climbing 3,000 feet, I've been losing the trail periodically, so hasn't been going the fastest. So I have another mile and 1,000 feet up to the first pass. After that, I drop down and there's another spring. That'll be 15 miles, which is where I think I'm gonna call it. Weather here is really unsettled. I'd like to get a secure spot. Plus my toes are getting rubbed by sand or something, and the tape is not helping. Just filtered out of the spring here, and now I just really want to find a campsite. Every time estimate I've made today seems to underestimate sections like this last one. It's just slow going. There's been absolutely no campsites here. And I have not been able to find a place to camp. Figures, haven't seen anybody all day, and I get to a marked campsite and there's somebody there. I'm just gonna make something work. Finally managed someplace to get set up. I'm kind of tilted, but it'll work. And I'm fairly protected from the wind at least. Unfortunately, my toes are having some abrasion issues like outside of Safford, so not the best night. Oh well.